and stuff like that.
They're the product.
Yeah, they're the product. You know what I'm saying? And these guys are running them. So if those guys were, imagine every major league in America decided to just fall back and say, we're not playing. We're just going to sit back and try to come up with what's our next step, because, you know, it's just, you know, it's just crazy right now. It would take away so much from the leagues. It would take away from like the media, like Disney, because ESPN. Like, think about it. Like, when you talk about LA sports, it's all on CBS, Channel 4, KTLA, KCAL 9, Channel 11. If they have no sports to talk about and they're doing other things, they have to try to fill that in with something. You know?
Here's the problem, though. And this goes back to that Hard Knocks episode on Tuesday. The NFL, like, they're just nicer paid employees.
Mm-hmm.
The only difference between guys in the NFL making money and guys like us making money, their body is their tool and use of revenue. Once their body goes out, they can't make any more money doing that. We could work in our fields for another 20 years. Not that we would want to.
Oh, God, no.
Yeah, that sounds nicer, but whatever.
But no, if you take advantage of making that money and turning it into something more and using your brand right,
yeah.
Especially in today's world, because back then, a player like, I'm going to just say real throwback, but a player like Christian Okoye, imagine what he could have did if he had social media. He could expand his brand even more, so even after football, it would have led to so many other things. But he didn't have it. But nowadays with social media, if you have 12 million followers and you played an 8-year NFL career, that you having those followers and stuff is going to open up other doors for you.
But you have to be able to. And most of these cats in the NFL, in the NFL, let's be honest, not all of them are the most savvy. Not all of them the most business savvy. Some of them,
of course.
Literally, their only way out was playing football.
No, playing football.
Yeah.
Their only way out was this. They weren't good at anything else, or they didn't spend the time to do anything else. So whatever talents they did have, it got stunted. Now, you look at a guy like Justin Herbert, academic genius, comes up from a well-off family. Yeah, he'd probably be fine because he majored in, like, I think science or something like decent. He probably would. A couple of guys like that probably would be fine, you know, later on in life.
Oh, like what's that quarterback? Rosen. You know, he comes from
Josh
oil
Rosen.
money. Yeah, he comes from oil money. Like, you know, he almost had that attitude a couple years ago. Like, oh, I don't even know if I want to go in the NFL. It's
Johnny
like,
Manziel didn't he come from oil money?
Oh, Manziel's a different story, man. He partied too hard.
No, yeah, but he comes from money, so
Yeah.
And he wasn't like Rosen was better. Rosen kind of got a raw deal as far as opportunities.
Yeah,
His attitude. Kyler Murray the next year.
I feel like his attitude just showed at the wrong time.
Yeah, and some people they remember when he got the swimming pool as a freshman.
he shouldn't have went to UCLA.
Yeah, that was the worst. If he would have went to USC, he would have been hidden.
Yeah,
And he would have been better off.
Mm-hmm.
But
I mean, look at
Sam
the USC.
Darnold.
Sam Darnold's doing.
No, yeah.
He's. I think he's going to have a pretty good year, actually.
with the Jets,
I mean, yeah, it's still with the Jets,
Bobby
but
Anderson, they got Pierre.
I might have to buy you a round of drinks if they win 6 games.
I'll take you up on that.
I don't know where this fly came from, but wow. But yeah.
You know, speaking of the Hard Knocks and getting paid, shout out to Melvin Ingram. You know, he was sitting out, participating, or actually just being there, I should say. But he got. You know, I don't think he got all the money he wanted, but he got this year's money guaranteed, $14 million.
Yeah.
So shout out to him, and that guy is going to wreck some. He's going to wreck some heads for the Chargers.
Last year of his rookie deal, or last year of his recent contract extension, $14 million guaranteed, and on top of that, in practice, he had like a pick six to end a team drill. So like,
can I say something
and he's
about
a
the
rapper
Chargers?
too.
Can I say something about the Chargers?
Go for it.
The Chargers will be the best third-place team in any division.
I think
That's a fair point.
I think you're good. I think that's.
If they get a wild card, it's a problem.
Yeah.
They will be the best third-place team in any division.
You know, they're just cursed, man. I mean, they just can't win games. I mean, they like the last 2 years. Well, maybe not last year, but the year before.
Most of our lives.
Yeah, they're like a field goal away. You know, I mean,
I call them the roller coaster team.
Yeah,
because 13-3. Then they're 6-10.
Didn't they go 15-1 when they made it to the AFC title game, and then Marlon McCree's dumbass picked that ball off and didn't actually properly secure
15-1.
And it was a year Marty Schottenheimer got fired. I think they went 15-1.
I don't think I have to look.
Was that with LaDainian?
Yeah, with LaDainian.
When he got the record touchdowns?
Who was the quarterback? Philip
Rivers.
Phillip.
Because Marlon McCree was a safety. I never liked him in Madden. But he got a pick.
Who they lose to? The Jets?
They lost to the Patriots in the AFC title game.
Yeah.
I think they were 15-1 that year, but that was their best shot and really LT's last shot. And, they blew the game.
Phillip Rivers' best shot.
Yeah, they blew the game. He played on a partially torn ACL, too.
Yeah.
They totally blew the game. And I just look at that, and they started off Hard Knocks with the receivers coach yelling, if you don't fucking block, you're not going to play here.
Yeah,
ever.
Coach Phil McGannon?
Yeah. I don't know. He was great. The receivers coach for the Chargers is great.
Yeah.
Because how many great receivers has the Chargers produced? Cats who just make plays. There's Malcolm Floyd, Vincent Jackson. The Chargers have had a run on really good receivers.
But I'm looking at their schedules from the past since 2003. I'm telling you, they're a roller coaster team. Every year is up and they were 14-2, and they lost in the divisional round by 3 points.
Yeah.
And speaking of roller coasters and curses, like you said, so first round pick. 2019 first-round pick, left tackle Andre Dillard went to Washington State, had a hell of a Senior Bowl and combine. This man tore his bicep. He already had a shoulder injury that he was dealing with. The Eagles, if you're an offensive lineman for the Eagles, you're probably injured.
Stay away.
He was in
Same
doing
thing with your quarterbacks.
Ouch.
Oh.
And your receivers. But he was doing it. He was doing a drill with defensive lineman Josh Sweat, and kind of
too much
keeled
sweat
over almost.
Too much sweat.
Unfortunately, it's just the reality of preseason. Even without the preseason games, it's reality.
He got hurt, tore his bicep, already had a shoulder injury, and he was actually kind of having a bad camp. So now Jason Peters, who got hurt last year, came back and was going to just be a guard. He's going from right guard to left tackle. Matt Pryor, the player out of TCU, is going to play guard. I don't know why they won't switch Lane Johnson to left tackle. Maybe because they know he can't play left tackle. All that speed, athleticism, but whatever. Yeah. So there's that. Jason Peters going back to left tackle, and now you're like, we might be in trouble because Dillard was supposed to be the answer. I think he even cried his rookie year too. That was
a grown man crying on football. There's no crying in football.
No crying.
Nah, there is. I cried like a motherfucker when I got hurt.
You cry every week about you being hurt since I've been here.
You seem like a crier.
This is the moment where Pete will be dying laughing.
I know he's laughing right now. I'm calling you out for him. He's channeling through me right now.
I get that vibe, that crier. I get that crybaby vibe.
Nah, I didn't cry I cried one time.
Speaking about crying,
it was after the season. It was weird. I didn't cry when it first happened.
Speaking about crying, the next subject there, Earl Thomas.
Oh yeah. Speaking of pain and suffering and loss and hardship, and almost getting shot at. So it comes out after he gets cut by the Ravens. He was late to a bunch of team meetings, constantly getting calls wrong, probably freelancing. He's not Troy Polamalu. Not everybody's allowed to freelance. And the final straw was him punching teammate Chuck Clark. I don't know who the hell Chuck Clark is, but it must be a really big deal when they cut you and you're a
Pro Bowl safety.
Borderline Hall of Fame safety?
It sounds like that's just the straw that broke the camel's back.
Yeah.
They're announcing that is detrimental to the team. You've got some problems.
He did a bunch of stuff after his wife almost murdered him on his birthday because him and his brother were what's the saying? Eskimo broing some strippers.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that story.
Bro,
that is wild.
You gotta calm down after you Eskimo bro with your literal actual blood brother, and then your wife almost kills you.
Maybe that's why he's upset. He's like, I can't Eskimo anymore.
His wife ain't nothing bad to look at. So I'm just like, wow, what was going on at home?
He just loves his brother.
I mean,
something. There's some kind of emotion going on.
Imagine if the Jackson 5 were Eskimoing when they were younger. I'm pretty sure they probably were.
You hear a lot of that.
Wow.
You hear a lot of that.
You are disgusting for that.
There's some that just like it
I
goes
love
back
Mike,
to school.
man.
Apparently, schoolboys just kind of having some problems.
Boys will be boys. Like I don't even know. I don't even want to use that term, but wow, just
Rest in peace, Michael Jackson.
yeah. After you Eskimo, bro, and then you get in trouble. Like how and then you punch us. Like I get you're the best safety they have, but man, that felt like it should have worked in Baltimore. And now, like Jerry Jones calling out Ian Rappaport saying he doesn't know what he's talking about because they're saying he might not sign with the Cowboys, even though he's the perfect fit for the Cowboys because they need an asshole in the secondary.
Agreed.
On top of that, if you look at the fact they lose Byron Jones, they got some corners, but they're realistically missing a ball hawk at free safety. With the defensive line and linebackers they have, they kind of. Earl Thomas wants to be a Cowboy. Just make it happen.
You think it's going to happen?
I think he probably ends up in Houston or some dumb shit like that.
As long as it's not week 1, I'm okay with that.
Doesn't really matter week 1 if
He
he's
ends up
there.
going to Philly and he's just
Does he really
mad.
matter?
Yeah.
Are you really that scared of Earl
No,
Thomas?
not at all.
No, I
Yeah.
didn't think you would be.
Remember last year he called up Mahomes? I'm going to be ready for him.
Well, 2 weeks away, right?
Yeah, 2 weeks away, yeah.
2 weeks
Derrick
away.
Henry exposed that man.
Yeah,
In
that was
ways
the best.
that need to be
I like
exposed.
that he was the best lead blocker. in
Yeah,
that
that's
meme.
funny. So maybe he might sign with the Titans. He likes playing for them.
Whew, who knows?
All right.
He definitely remembers that Titan. But anyway,
All right.
college football news. Oh boy. So like when we talked about with past guests and past shows about how Nebraska just doesn't know when to quit. Yeah, Nebraska football doesn't know when to quit. So 8 Husker football players are suing the Big Ten for their season. They want the revert. They want
They
the
want to play.
decision. Yeah, for their season to get canceled. They want that reversed. And I just want to know what the fuck are 8 Nebraska players going to do that the whole team couldn't do the entire time they've been in the Big
It's
Ten?
publicity. That's all
Because
it
you
is.
couldn't win with your whole team.
Tell me
so
this.
what is 8 of you losers going to do?
Why do they even matter? Like, they haven't been good since Eric Crouch. Y'all remember that name?
They haven't
Yeah,
been good since
vaguely.
Ndamukong Suh got robbed of a Heisman.
Yeah, but even
the Big
then, they
12
weren't
title
national championship contenders. Like,
Yeah, they were a good 10, good 9-win
At
team.
least with Eric Crouch, like they were championship contenders. They haven't been. They're not that same program. So whenever I hear Nebraska, one of my cousins is a huge Nebraska fan. Like my
How?
older cousin. I don't know. I've never asked him, but he's Dallas Cowboys, Nebraska, Cornhuskers.
Oh, so he's a masochist?
I don't know.
Shit.
But yeah, he's a fan
It's
of
just-
those guys.
I don't even want to
but
know.
They're,
Damn.
they're terrible. They're not worth my ears. So whenever I hear Nebraska, I just like, oh, okay, let me wait till the story goes by.
I'm going to let
think-
that joke go because I had a fucked up punchline about the word Cornhusker, but I'm going to leave it alone.
Yeah,
I think just Mike Wilbon on PTI just kind of said it just simply not going to happen.
Like, I just want to know, like, who really thought this? Like, who at Nebraska really thinks that we care about what happens at Nebraska? First off, you actually have to win games first. Nebraska has won nothing.
Well, they're the biggest platform in Nebraska.
Like, I'm gonna name
They're
off
the
the
only-
players.
Sports, they got the
They're
Cornhuskers.
the
That's what they
only
got.
platform in
I'm
Nebraska.
gonna name off the players and tell me y'all can look up. I don't know who the hell these people are. One of them looks like he might be good though. Garrett Snodgrass.
Nope.
Garrett
Snodgrass? Is that really his name? Snodgrass?
Snodgrass.
Wow.
Snodgrass.
That's
Deep.
That's awful.
Again, I'm gonna reserve my jokes for later. Garrett Nelson sounds like he might be a pretty decent offensive lineman prospect in 3 years.
Sounds like a reverend.
Ethan Piper, he's definitely an Eskimo bro with Snodgrass.
Yeah, Ethan Piper for sure.
Piper Snodgrass. That's like probably their nickname.
Snake in the grass.
Oh, there's an episode title somewhere in between Earl Thomas and Ethan Piper. That sounds like a porn star name.
Oh my god.
Noah Pola Gates. Shout out to Polynesians who always have like the Pola from Palomalu, but
Yeah,
it's just
yeah.
Pola, and then they have
Pola.
whatever else at the end. Alante Brown, probably a safety. Brant Banks. Brant. B-R-A-N-T Banks. Fam, how you got 2 last names? Brant is the last name.
That sounds like a last name to me.
Brent.
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 B-R-E-N-T.
No, his last name is Brandt.
What's his first name?
Brandt Banks. Brant Banks.
Yeah, that's a